Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at insulating the rafters of these garage. Now, I got two garages here. This one is, as you can see, it's used for keeping food and all the stuff, and including the dog who's lying over there. So she stays over here, and that's one of the main reasons why I want to insulate the entire roof so that it makes it nice and cozy. Now, first of all, what we need to do is make sure we measure the depth of it, and then we'll be putting in a 15mm insulation board followed by a thicker 80mm insulation board, and the two layers together should hopefully keep the roof warm. Now let's talk about cutting this colossal insulation board. You have got three options, and each promises a different level of personal injury if you're not careful. The first one is your classic handsaw. The second one is your slightly more intense track saw, which is good for a straight line. And then, if you're feeling really ambitious or just a little bit reckless, the table saw. Now, other than these three, there are also things like the jigsaw, the oscillating saw, and even a kitchen knife. You could use any of these to cut your insulation board, and some of them I'll be showing it later down in the video. We will also be using these tiny plastic washer tightening discs. Now we got a proper wood screw in a variety of lengths, and for the crucial seal between the rafter boards, we are busting out the fancy stuff, this aluminium foil based insulation tape. For the hard to reach or the I just can't be bothered to cut it right spaces, we have this magnificent expanding insulation foam. Now feast your eyes on the main event, right? The insulation boards. Now I've got a wide variety of insulation boards over here. So here we have the smaller and the more delicate 35mm ones, the bigger and the more bolder 80mm sheets. Now these insulated plasterboard sheets for the garage door, that's going to be a separate video on its own. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. Now here's the plan, right? The thin 35mm boards go between the rafters, maintaining a minimum 15mm air gap. So we'll be using wooden battens to create this air gap. The 35mm sheets will slide underneath the battens, and then the 80mm sheets go on horizontally across everything. I need to cut about 10 small batten pieces per rafter, which means I'm looking at a grand total of around 80 pieces for the entire roof structure of this garage. And then to save my shoulders and probably my sanity as well, I'll be pre-drilling the holes on the drill press and not using my handheld electric drill. Trust me, this is an easier way to do it right now underneath rather than fighting it with a handheld electric drill while you're standing on a ladder. The entire width of my rafter is roughly 70 centimeters. The recommended air gap, however, is 50mm. Now I can't put a 30mm board on this 70mm rafter width, so I'll be going for a medium, which is like 35mm. Now these battens are going to get screwed in and held in place. And yes, I pre-drilled these on the drill press using a countersink bit. The battens will be spaced around 120 centimeters apart. The stick you see here is a storage stick, and this is exactly cut to 120 centimeters, which is basically my measuring tape as well as my clamping guide. I have to repeat this madness all the way to the top, and this is how they will butt up against each other. Now for the next exciting stage, that is installing the battens on the actual brick wall. What you're seeing right now may look weird, I know that, but I'm screwing to the batten onto the brick just to mark the spot where I need to drill it. I am not actually attaching it like this. Then I use my SDS drill to bore out the hole. Shove a wall plug in, and then screw the batten in properly. I measured the gaps between the rafters, and shockingly they are all different. You did expect them to be the same, right? Like say 56 centimeters down here and on the top, but nope, they are all over the place. Now the back side of this wall is the worst, that's 48 centimeters, and by the time you go to the other side of the roof, it's 43.5. Now that's almost a 10% difference. All I can say is thanks to whoever built this in the 1980s. The 30mm sheets are thin enough that the tracksaw depth is set to just under 35 mm, 5 mm to compensate for the track. I have these plastic insulation board holders, but they aren't coming out yet. For now, it's just screws. The plastic holders are reserved for when I fix the 80mm sheets onto the rafters. Now that we have cut one piece, we just need to cut all the other pieces. So you mark it, use your circular saw or your track saw and cut through it. Now pro tip, make it a bit oversized so that you can crush it in rather than having gaps. However, if you do have gaps, you can always fill them up with a form. I did ending up cutting the sheets a bit long, which is actually a good thing, especially when the rafters are wider than expected. Now let's talk about this weird gap left by some previous technicians where the telephone cables come into the house. So I made a rough outline on the insulation board and cut it with a knife. Now this is just to prove that you can literally use anything. This gap will be stuffed later with smaller pieces of insulation and then sealed right tight with a spray foam. Time to deal with the boiler pipes. Now I'm cutting a hole where the pipe is 10 centimeters in diameter. So crucially, the roof pitch is 15 degrees. So I need to cut them in a 15-degree angle as well. So I cut out a few prototypes to make sure that the boards fit snugly around the flue and between the rafters. It's tricky, but mocking it up first saves you a lot of headache later. Well, having said all this, I now change the design a little bit. So it's always easier to do it in one piece to manage the curve and all the complexity. So having cut that, I just slid it in and I seal the edges with a trusty aluminium foil tape. And yes, there is a massive gap over here, but that's what the foam spray and the aluminium foil tape are for. When I cut the main piece, I couldn't slide it in, so I had to take a thin slither off the edge. Well, to hide my shame, I just cut a small piece to fill that slither. You wouldn't know it if I hadn't told you, so that's it. And now you could just seal it all up with the tape and it looks decent enough. To get the angle of the roof ridge, I used an angle finder. It came out to be 30 degrees, so I set the track saw to 30 degrees and made the cut. Now the boards were pushed against the rafters and screwed into the battens. As you can see, where the two sections join, there's a slight gap. Now I'll be putting slithers of insulation board into that gap, stuffing it right in, and sealed it tightly with the aluminium foil tape. Now that the thin 30 mm layer is up, let's move on to the chunky 8 mm sheets. Again, I used a track saw, but this time I needed 2 passes. This part is extremely sketchy, that is, cutting an 80 mm insulation board on a table saw. I did this because I really didn't want to do 2 passes with a track saw, but guess what? I still had to do 2 passes on the table saw. So get a buddy to help or just use a jigsaw, that's way easier. I have all the 80 mm pieces cut right now, so I held them up against the rafters and marked where the screws need to go. Now this is where the plastic board holders come in. In this particular case, the plastic board holders won't fit at the edges because of the diameter of it. So I'm taking a utility knife and pliers to trim them down. When you butt up different pieces, how do you make sure that they match up perfectly? As you can see, mine are slightly all over the place and need trimming. So I'll be using my laser level for this. It'll project a clean line across the wall. I'll mark it and then use my oscillating saw to trim it off. At the eaves of the roof, I'm using a piece of insulation to seal it up. This will be followed up by expanding foam and tape. Now here's another hack, that is, you can use a kitchen knife. So using a kitchen knife, I made neat cuts right in between the rafters and the roof ridge. So that the panel can sit right in. Now back to the boiler flue pipe. This was cut at an angle, and this entire gap will be filled with leftover insulation scraps and then entirely sealed with expanding foam. The insulation boards are held up by these plastic holders, but you can see the sag on one side, right? Now that's because there is no direct rafters underneath this. So the solution? Old bed slats. I'll stick them onto the 2 adjacent rafters to push the insulation board tightly into place. We are finally at the stage where we can now use the expanding foam to fill all the gaps. Leave it. And once it's all set, I get to use my knife again to chop it all off and smooth it up. To support the leading edge against the wall, I'll be putting in some additional final battens. So I have pre-drilled some holes and screwed them in slightly, and then I will tap it against the brick to mark the spot, take the batten down, use an SDS drill, and then put in a wall plug and then screw the entire batten back in again. Sounds easy, right? Well, it never is. It took a lot of time, but it's worth doing it just to prevent the sheath from sagging at the end. And that, my friends, is the end of the journey. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because apparently 95% of you who are just watching and are not subscribed. And follow me on Instagram for weekly project updates. So have a nice day, and I hope you have an insulated garage like mine. Okay, so see you in the next video. In the next video, we'll be looking at installing the hot water station for the dog. This is required because when it gets cold, the water is cold and the dogs don't like it. So a hot water system for them seems epic. So I can't wait to edit that video, and you will also get to see how a big German Shepherd reacts to washing her paws with this system.